So Game Pass, right on the eve of the Xbox Showcase, is dropping new games left and right, not including, guys, surprise drops that we'll be seeing, and I have some of that speculation in this video, plus all the new Game Pass games coming this June. I'm Sunny here at Xbox Central, and we're going to start with one of my favorite franchises, and that's Octopath Traveler. And we're looking at Octopath Traveler 2. Now, if you guys are into JRPGs, there's a good chance you've heard of this franchise. This awesome JRPG series has been loved by millions of people for its epic combat and really exciting exploration. This sequel takes this already amazing role-playing action though to the next level as you embark on a brand new quest with one of 8 unique characters, each with their own cool backstories and reasons for traveling. And this game really keeps you hooked for many hours as you explore the story of each character while engaging in some intense turn-based battles as you explore a world that keeps changing from day to night. Now, the game doesn't push you to complete quests. It lets you explore the world really at your own pace and discovering new places and characters as you go. Also, guys, for me, the game looks super gorgeous. It has these like visuals that are kind of like mixed with old school pixel art and modern 3D graphics. I don't even know how to explain it. It's really though a perfect mix of storytelling, strategy, and stunning visuals, and it's why this game has received overwhelmingly tons of positive reviews from fans and critics alike. It is available now on cloud, PC, and Xbox Series X and S. And with that, we do have the first game, Octopath Traveler, and this one's also making its return to Game Pass, and I've really played the crap out of this series. If you want to play this before the second, you have that option, and for me this is really an epic tale of multiple characters. You'll play all of them, each with their own backstories that you'll discover. If you guys are really highly into storytelling and you don't kind of mind the turn-based combat, which by the way, it's more fast-paced than I actually thought when I played it. I thought it was going to be slow and it's not, and you just love some gorgeous pixel art, you're going to really love this series. The first Octopath Traveler is a great start in the series. It's the one I've played. I haven't played number 2, now I will, and I really enjoyed it. I put in like 30 or 40 hours. This first one is going to be available on cloud, console, and PC. Our next game is Depersonlization. This is a dice RPG with branching storylines and multiple endings. Every character you play kind of has different plots and stories. This game is still in early access, but as you guys can see, it's got some really slick pixel graphics, and the turn-based RPG here looks really fun, and it's really influenced by the roll of the dice. And meanwhile, you'll be using your investigation skills to uncover the mystery of the prisoner's fate in this game. This one lands on PC on June 13th. Now, a game that I was really surprised to see on Game Pass, and I might be pronouncing this wrong, is Isonzo. This is an authentic World War I FPS that takes place in the Great War with the Battle of Isonzo and more battles, and here you'll be battling it out against 48 other players, really testing out your tactical skills and your shooting prowess. There is 6 specialty classes ranging from assault, engineer, infantry, mountaineer, officer, and sniper, and you'll be battling it out in different environments like the Italian Alps and partake in authentic World War I musings, things like the sound effects, the uniforms, the guns from that era. It's all super authentic. This game has looked really good since its release. It's had tons of positive reviews from players, and I haven't had the chance to play this one or really look into it until today, but it looks really good. This will be landing on June 13th on cloud, console, and PC. Now, a pretty big game coming this June is the Callisto Protocol. This is a third-person narrative-driven survival horror game set in the future, 300 years to be exact. You'll be playing as Jacob Lee, a guy who's stuck in this black prison that is maximum security and on Jupiter's moon. But all of a sudden though, guys, everything around you starts evolving. Basically, the inmates start turning into monsters and you have to survive and find a way out. Now, the game's been dubbed kind of like the next generation of survival horror due to its bone-chilling moments, the thrilling combat where you have to fight off these creatures by taking off their limbs, and of course the story that accompanies the entire game is just really pretty good. I'm personally going to be looking forward to this one when it arrives on June 13th on cloud, console, and PC, and I have to say I'm really excited to play this one. With that, guys, we have 2 Game Pass games that have release dates on Game Pass now. Magical Delicacy. This is the pixel platformer that has you cooking up meals for the town as a witch, but you're a good witch actually. This lands on July 16th. Then we have The Flock. This is a multiplayer co-op game where you play as flying shepherds collecting weird creatures for your flock. This also lands on July 16th. So we have the game Rolling Hills. Now, this is a life simulator and shop management game where you play as a robot chef running your own sushi restaurant, and you'll be cooking up delicious dishes to serve with the locals while also learning about their stories. This is going to be on PC, cloud, and console. The other game that's available is Fireworks. This is a 2D puzzle horror game that puts you in the shoes of a police officer who decides to reopen a gruesome old case that ended up in a massacre, and now you're going to try to solve the mystery of what happened in this village by gathering clues and interacting with the people. This should also be be available today. So we have the game Still Wakes the Deep. Now this is a super creepy first-person horror game that throws you right into the middle of a very nightmare scenario. You play as this oil rig worker who gets stuck on a rig after a brutal storm knocks out all the communication and escape routes. Now the rig is really slowly falling apart all around you, and you have to find a way to survive till help arrives. But unlike other horror games, you actually don't fight monsters in this game. You actually have to rely on your wits and problem-solving skills to kind of find a way around this failing structure by scavenging for resources and finding safe places to stay alive. So if you guys are into horror games that rely more on the atmosphere and storytelling than just like plain old just jump scares and combat, Still Wakes the Deep is definitely one to keep an eye out, as it does arrive on Game Pass on June 18th. Now the news that I'm absolutely excited to talk about here is Call of Duty Black Ops 6. This has been confirmed to arrive on Game Pass as a day one release, guys, and this is really massive. Activision dropped a super intense trailer called Black Ops 6 The Truth Lies, and while it wasn't a very long trailer, it did give us a glimpse into what we might expect to see with this game. Also, at this upcoming showcase on June 9th, we'll be able to find out all the details with this game in full, and guys, it's just finally awesome to see that this Activision deal with Xbox is really paying off for us Xbox users, and I'm just so hyped. With that, guys, we also have one game that was teased to come to Game Pass in Shin Megami Tensei 5. This was actually put up on Instagram where they showed this little graphic of the Xbox Game Pass logo, but the publisher Atlas actually came out to say that this was a template mistake. Either way, I want you guys to kind of keep an eye out for this game if it does hit Game Pass. Sometimes like these games launch first on the Xbox store for a bit, and then later it ends up coming to Xbox Game Pass at some point. Either way though, this does launch on June 14th. Finally, guys, we have some expansions I wanted to talk about. The latest expansion with the Elder Scrolls Online Gold Road is set to drop on June 18th. This will be arriving with a whole new zone, tons of quest, lore, dungeons, and a world bosses to tackle. And then with this game already being on Game Pass, you'll be able to dive right into this soon as it lands. Then we have Warhammer 40k Boltgun. This is also getting a massive expansion called Forges of Corruption to celebrate its first anniversary. This fast-paced retro style shooter is set to bring hours of new content, including fresh stages to explore, a bunch of new enemies to face, an arsenal of new weapons to have fun with, and on top of that, it also brings out a horde mode that'll test your survival skills and endurance as you face endless waves of monsters. It should be an epic one for Boltgun when it lands on June 18th. And finally, on big updates, Redfall's final version comes out. This is coming with an offline mode, a new Elder Nest with modified special vamps to fight, new bosses, a bunch of enemy variants as well. There's also some skill tree stuff, some new stuff, more random encounters, brand new weapons, and a lot more. As you guys know, the studio closed down, but good to see this like one big final update for Redfall. With that, guys, we also have a couple games, one coming to Game Pass and a completely new game more than likely coming down the line. As you guys know, Lords of Fallen was added to Game Pass, which is really awesome and it's been fun to play. I also think Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 might also land on Game Pass like at any point. Remember, this is a game that puts you in the shoes of a sniper assassin tasked with taking out high profile targets. It's a great game if you're into single player tactical shooters. And last but not least, a new game studio called 100 Stars is working on a new game being made by Xbox. This game's going to be a AAA single player adventure game built with Unreal Engine 5. Many of the developers in this studio have worked on previous games, like check these examples out: Batman Arkham, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. So I think with that experience of these developers, maybe we can kind of gather what type of game we might be seeing, something maybe in the superhero realm. It should be a good one though when we get more information. Now, another expansion I want to mention real quick is Destiny 2's Final Shape. This is bringing in new raids, new challenging enemies, and a whole lot more. It should be already available. And finally, guys, if you haven't heard, the Xbox Showcase is set to introduce or talk about over 30 games on June 9th. Not only that, but there is a big rumor that a first party game is set to drop on the 9th itself. My guess is, this is just a complete guess, is the Gears of War collection, but that's just, like I said, full speculation. We might also see the game Towerborne maybe shadow drop as well. We'll see. Either way, this is happening on June 9th, and we'll have a host of new games coming to Game Pass to talk about after the showcase, I'm sure. And the final thing I want to talk about are games leaving Game Pass, with 5 in total, some of them being some big games like High on Life, Bramble the Mountain King, Rune Factory 4, and a few others. It's really a bummer to see those go, but I do have 30 exclusive games coming out to Game Pass this year and beyond that you guys don't want to miss, so check out that video on the screen.